Charles Barkley is no stranger to controversy, but his latest comments have caused an uproar online. While on CNN speaking with Don Lemon, Barkley stated that he didn't get a chance to watch Dave Chappelle's monologue on Saturday Night Live, but he doesn't think racism, sexism, and homophobia are nothing to joke about. Don Lemon would then tell everyone on the panel that Barkley was one of the first people to contact him after he came out of the closet. In response, Barkley would say, "One thing that's always disappointed me, black people treat gay people. We are the worst when it comes to treating gay people. It's always bothered me." After his appearance, Barkley quickly started trending on social media as many had a problem with his comments. One user would say, "The media uses Charles Barkley's self-hate to spread anti-blackness," while another would chime in and say, "You can support gay people without attacking black people." Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Danielle Miller and Capone, calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
One of the first people to contact me after I came out was this man right here. And that was over a decade.
And one thing has always disappointed me, black people treat gay people. We are the worst when it comes to treating gay people. And I want to reach out to you and all my gay friends, all my transgender friends, and tell you, man, I got nothing but love and respect for you. I want you to be you. And I wanted you to know that day, because I understand being black, what it's like being gay, because you get mistreated, and it's really unfortunate and sad and stupid, to be honest with you.
Now, I know this is not a new conversation, so I'm interested to dive into this and kind of spread this out a little bit. Capone, let me start with you. Do you agree with Barkley's comments that he made on CNN?
No, hell no. I don't even like talking down about a black man, but I wish he was really born the color that he wants to be so bad. It's unbelievable how this man has a hatred for us black people, but talking about how every other race in the world is going through something, but we're not. That's basically what he was saying.
Danielle, let me bring you in and get your thoughts on this as well. You know, what do you think? Do you agree with Barkley's comments that he made on CNN while talking to Don Lemon?
No. When I heard it caught me off guard, and I was like, "Ooh, hammer time!" Like, what is he tap dancing around? Because it wasn't even it. The comment was unwarranted. It came out of nowhere. The interview was literally about Kanye and Kyrie, and I literally felt like he was trying to cop out on the conversation, so he just went there, and that tells a very terrible tale on Charles Barkley's behalf, that you would just go straight there and say that black people, and you're generalizing it, black people are homophobic. And what's crazy is I like how the commentator, I can't remember his name right now, he said that you were the first one to call him when he came out. So guess what, Charles? That means you are one person that is black that has no issue with the LGBT community. I have no issue with the LGBT community. So how dare you generalize the statement and say that we all hate, and we all have this homophobic view. So I do not agree with Charles Barkley at all.
Now, ironically, a couple days later, unfortunately, there would be a shooting in Colorado Springs at a gay club, and the shooter was identified as 22-year-old Anderson Lee Eldridge, which is a white male. And of course, people on social media did sound off on this and be very vocal. I want to read some of those comments to you all. One user says, "White men are shooting up gay clubs, and Charles Barkley is tap dancing on CNN, saying black people are the worst at mistreating the gay community." Another user posted a picture of Charles Barkley on Sports Illustrated and said, "Now you see why Charles Barkley keeps going on TV talking bad about black people. Shaking my head." And lastly, another user says, "Hey, NBA commissioner, make Charles Barkley apologize for his words. That could put black people in danger. He has basically said black people are anti-gay and treat them the worst. And this could make people believe we are a threat. Can everyone backing the Nets back me up?" So I'll actually start back with you, Capone, on this one. You know, obviously people are upset, rightfully so, but I want to ask, do you think people are more upset at his actual statement or where he's holding this conversation, being that it's on CNN, not everyone on the panel looks like him or are from, you know, our community? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's the actual statement or where he holds that conversation?
I think it's the actual statement. People don't really, when they hear something like that disturbs them, they don't really care about where it's from. It could have been on the corner. But it's amazing that, again, they bring these athletes like they're the spokespeople for black people, and they're not. As one white woman said to LeBron, man, just dribble the ball. Dribble the ball.
Shut up and dribble. We know all about that statement for sure. Danielle, let me bring you in to get your thoughts on that. You know, the conversation itself definitely seems to be one that are shaking people up, but it brings the question, do you think it's his actual statement or the fact that some people may feel like, hey, you're putting us on Front Street. You know, this is CNN. This is not, you know, a network that's based in, you know, blackness like here at Comedy Hype. You know, having that conversation here could feel different than CNN, so I'm interested to know your thoughts. Do you think it's the actual statement or where he's holding this conversation?
I think it's a statement itself. I think for me, what bothered me, let me say in my opinion, for me that bothered me is the generalization of it. And I like what the Twitter user said, that what you're doing is you're making it seem like all of us have an issue with that community. So it could turn into a sense of tension. And then I guess you can say, because he said it on CNN with such a broader audience as well, because you literally like broadcasted that, oh, Black people hate the LGBT community on such a big platform. And you did not say, you know, some of us do have an issue, because let's be honest, some of us do. Some people in the community do, as well as, and we just don't want to say it's Black people. There are other ethnic groups as well, such as Caucasians, such as Asians. You'll find there's a grouping of people in every ethnic group that has an issue with the LGBT community. So you would say some, but don't generalize it and say Black people hate, because now you're making it sound like it's only us that has an issue with that community, especially when you put it in comparison, like, oh, we're mistreated and we mistreat them. You're making it a battle against two communities. So it was definitely the statement, and a little bit at the fact that you put it on such a big platform, you broadcasted that out there.
Absolutely. Now, Danielle, I think you bring up a great point, and I really love the layers that you brought into that, because, you know, we see what happens when a Black person is considered anti-something. You know, what we see with Kyrie Irving, you know, Dave Chappelle got some backlash as well. But let me ask you this, because like you said, it's in multiple groups that we see where people have an issue with the LGBTQ plus community, whether it's just something new for them or it's something, you know, underlying that we may not fully understand. So do you think it's wrong for, let's talk about our culture specifically, do you think it's wrong for Black culture to collectively, and not necessarily everybody, right, but some of those people to collectively not be receptive of homosexuality? You know, because, you know, we've had this conversation before. There can be some, you know, hey, I respect what you do. I don't necessarily have to agree with it. Is it wrong for, you know, those people to not be receptive of the LGBTQ plus community?
I always say this. It's like my motto on the show, other than bite. So my motto on the show is, we know how the world works. Human nature. Everybody is not going to be receptive of anything that we do. I believe one of the reasons why a lot of persons are not receptive, and it could be a form of whether people feel like it's hate or judgment towards the LGBTQ plus community, is we can say underlying religious beliefs as well. In the religious culture, it's also, you're not supposed to shack up, eh? But guess what? I believe in shacking up. My mother might not believe in it, but I believe in it. And that's something that she'll never be receptive of. And that's her opinion and that's her right. But at the same time, respect my opinion and respect my choice. And I think that's the place that we have to get to as human beings. Even though I may not agree with your lifestyle, that is fine. But I'm going to respect your decision. And it's not perpetuating hate towards it either. And I think a lot of times, I may get in trouble, but I'm going to say it. I think sometimes too, we feel like the LGBTQ plus community is trying to force something on us. And I think if we literally just have an open conversations like this that we're having right now, and take out the hate, take out the judgment, and add the respect to it, then we will definitely come to a more point of understanding. So that could be one of the things as well as to why people may feel like they're not as receptive to it, because they feel like it's something that's being pushed in front of them, that lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't come for me. Don't come for me. I just telling the truth. Come with the facts. That's the mug. That's one of the merch at Comedy Hype. Check out Comedy Hype Lab. Come with the facts. I just telling the truth. Don't come for me.
I love it. I love it. Capone, let me bring you in. I know we've had this conversation before, and you've been very vulnerable here, in saying that, hey, this is something new for you. This is not something, that you grew up with or had to see as much as we see it now. So I want to propose that same question to you. Do you think it's wrong for people, specifically we're talking about our culture, to not be receptive to the LGBT community or that lifestyle?
I agree with Danielle, and they can come for me if they want to. There's a lot of things that's being forced on us, and uh, uh, from what I'm gathering as knowledge, they want to feel normal. They want to feel, accepted, and a lot of times, the things that they participate or are in, is new. Like you said, it's new to me. But the one thing I do have a lot of respect for them is how they come together as a community. I am really for people of whatever community, when they come together and they form something that's strong that they believe in and they can make change and make difference. It is what it is. I don't have nothing against nobody that's gay. I'm not into gay men. I'm into women, and that's just my preference. And my preference is something that should be respected just as I respect your preference. That's just the bottom line.
Absolutely. I definitely love it. I think both of you have a trending underlying. It's all about respect, having that respect. I don't necessarily have to agree. It's not wrong for me to have, my own thoughts and opinions, but it's about having that respect. So I definitely appreciate you both. Now, I do want to open up the floor to our live audience member. We do have Trent Denson, who is a photographer and videographer. Yes, let's give it up. He's a photographer, videographer here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I want to throw it over to Trent. Trent, thank you so much for joining us. And what's your question?
All right, so boom. So a lot of people will be making out there comments about certain people, certain communities, and they often apologize for that. So my question to you all is, should Barkley apologize as well, or should he clarify his comments?
It's almost expected from Barkley at this point. And sad to say it, brother, no community except us cares enough about an apology from anybody. We've been going through so much for so many years that we kind of get immune to the disrespect. We form all kinds of groups to get treated a little bit equal, and they find different ways to dismantle that type of situation. So as far as Barkley, everybody's looking at him as a coon, period. So if he did apologize, it wouldn't mean nothing.
I think, in my opinion, because the statement was so general, and then I'm not gonna hide it either. In the Caribbean, people tend to think that Caribbean countries are homophobic because of things like that. Black people hate the LGBTQ plus community. So in my book, I think he needs to apologize and he needs to clarify his statements. And it's his responsibility as someone, an agent of the media, to come with the facts. Never generalize your statements. Say that some, and that is fine. Say some, come and apologize. And I think, like Capone said, it might not get as much media play, but I think what it will do is it will right a wrong that you made in your own community and show that you actually have some type of care for the things that you say against your own.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much, Trent, for joining us. We appreciate that question. Before I let you go out, how can people follow you and keep up with all the work you're doing?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, MySpace, Snapchat, and all that. Trent Tibby, TrentIbity.
Awesome. And we'll have that at the bottom as well. Thank you so much, Trent. And again, thank you, Danielle and Capone, for chiming in on this topic. Now, of course, before I let y'all head out as well, I'd love to know what you have coming up. So, Capone, I'll start with you. What do you have coming up, and how can people follow you?
I'm going home to cook my own Thanksgiving dinner, and I have a show in Warner Robins, Georgia, Saturday. And just keep on striving. Danielle, I don't know when this brother's gonna book the flight for me to come out there, but I will be out there soon.
And my favorite, Capone, how can people follow you?
Oh man, if you got Instagram, get on your Instagram right now, everybody. And I need you to follow Comedian Capone. But if you cannot spell comedian, please don't follow me.
I love it. I love it. Danielle, over there in the Bahamas, it's nice and warm while we're cold. Let us know what you have coming up. And of course, how can people follow you?
All right. So under this 83-degree weather, I'm going to brag a little bit. Under this 83-degree weather, what I have coming up is a lot of great things in 2023. I will encourage you to stay tuned. Make sure that you follow my YouTube channel. That's Danielle, Denielle, as well as you can follow me on Instagram. That's Deea Miller. Just look for the girl with the blonde bald head. And Capone, I am going to track down Nelson and find out what is going on. So next time we can have an update on that. So we can bring some more persons over to this 83-degree weather. It drops a little colder during the December period, like maybe to about 60, but y'all could handle that. Yeah.
Danielle, that is not dropped. It's been freezing here in Georgia. So thank you so much for sending some sunshine our way. But again, I do appreciate both of you for chiming in on this topic. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about Charles Barkley being called out for calling Black people homophobic? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Pierre's not here, but you can put it in the comments. And like Danielle say, come with the facts.
It's crazy how some people misjudge me. I think they know who I am more than I know who I am. Most of my life, when people see me, they always think, is he one of us or one of them? What does that mean, one of us or one of them? Am I us or am I them? Even though I've proven who I am many times to people, I guess I gotta do it again. Oh, I'm gonna do it again. Trust me. And I'm here to deliver the truth. And one thing about the truth, they can't deny it if it's yours.